Joining me now is Ilana, Lenk, the Head of Public Diplomacy at the Israeli Embassy in Canberra. Thanks so much for your time, Ilana. Really appreciate it. This comes at an unprecedented time for Israel. I'm sure you're very worried about your own family and friends there at the moment. What's the latest information you can give us?
Thank you so much for having me here this morning. The situation in Israel is still unfolding, as you are well aware. This unprecedented attack by the Hamas coming into Israel, attacking our citizens, kidnapping, killing, walking door to door in southern cities and trying to scare out and burn houses in order to take civilians. Situation is increasingly severe. From what I understand at the moment, we're talking about 700 people in Israel that have already been announced dead, as well as about 1,000 or 2,000 injured. We're following the situation very closely, and as you mentioned, my family is sitting in bomb shelters as we speak. My grandparents, 85 years old, are sitting in Jerusalem trying to stay strong and hold out.
I'm sorry to hear that, Ilana, and that is the case for so many Jewish Australians just looking on here on their television screens here in Sydney, right around Australia. Ilana, what is the expectations of the Australian government at this point?
Well, we are very supportive of the Australian government's statements and support of Israel's commitment and ability to protect itself. We've been in close contact with the Australian government. Last night, Foreign Minister Wong spoke with Foreign Minister Cohen, and they've exchanged many different informations between them. From what I'm aware, the conversation was very positive, and the Australian government has been very supportive of Israel's right to defend itself.
And is that all you expect of the Australian government at this point?
Well, at this point, we haven't received any requests or initiated that. Israel is very much containing the situation and is working very hard in order to retrieve any citizens that have been kidnapped and protect our southern cities. They're going village to village, city, kibbutz, and trying to evacuate people as we speak.
Yeah, it's a grim situation. Ilana, in the last couple of hours, there's been a significant development. The Wall Street Journal reporting that Iran, well, this has been done with the imprimatur of Iran. Now, that's not a surprise because we know Iran has been funding Hamas and Hezbollah for quite some time. But in your view, how does this change things?
Well, this isn't a surprise to anyone. We have been saying this since day one. Iran has been funding the Hamas. It has backed the Hamas. It has backed the Hezbollah. The terror organizations surrounding us have been backed and further supported by Iran, calling to destroy Israel, calling to kill all of our citizens, calling to go in and attack civilians who have done nothing at fault. This has not been a secret, and this so-called reveal just proves how much the Hamas has no real care for human life, and how the regime in Tehran has been behind this the whole time. This does not come to a surprise to Israel, and the whole world should notice this and condemn it and use the strongest language possible when addressing us.
It is rare for Israeli intelligence to fail. It appears that that's exactly what has happened in this case. Would you agree?
Well, I think that's something that the Israeli authorities are going to be looking into once the opportunity allows it. At the moment, the Israeli authorities, the IDF, the police are working full-time, all hands on deck in order to save lives, to retrieve our civilians and soldiers who have been captive. Reserve duties have been called up. My friends have personally been called up and are on borders as we speak. My cousin is serving in the south of Israel and is trying to maintain the situation. So I think when it comes to intelligence and reanalyzing and reassessing the situation, that'll have to come at a later time.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that, Ilana. I'm sorry to hear about your family in this situation. One of the most atrocious things to happen so far, and it's been barely 40 hours. And I speak to you as a young person, seeing those 260 young people at a dance concert being murdered. Dozens more have been injured there.
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine going to a party? Could you imagine going to a party and seeing that? Spending time with your friends, having a drink, dancing, and suddenly gunmen come in, parachuting from the sky and shoot like it is open field. People were shot, were kidnapped. The Israeli forces went out last night to retrieve bodies, and the numbers are horrendous. I have never seen images like that in my lifetime.
And Ilana, I just wanted to end by asking you about this, because if you do live in Israel, you are dedicated to the country, and the level of patriotism is perhaps unrivaled around the world. You dedicate years of your life, 3 years, to national service as well. So it's not like these young people are naive to the risks that they face, but I guess they were not expecting this at all, and it will shatter hundreds, if not thousands, of families.
That is 100% correct. Families are trying to stay strong. They're trying to support each other. The lines to donate blood in Israel have been extremely long since the war broke out. People are looking to assist in any way possible, offering houses in the north, to host people, to evacuate. Israel's heart is aching, and we need as much help as possible. And we need the support of the international community at this very difficult time. Israel is not gonna let this go. Israel is gonna fight very hard and as long as it takes in order to secure peace in our region.
Ilana, we thank you so much for your time this morning. We'll speak to you in coming days.